Chuck Grassley is 92 years old, or will be 92 years old. This guy was born in 1933, meaning he probably vividly remembers FDR as fucking president. And I say this because he is an old ass motherfucker, dude. And he had a town hall that was filled with a lot of older folks. Remember, Chuck Grassley represents Iowa, state that has consistently gone Trump over the last couple of elections, gone Trump by multiple points. It is a firm red state at this point, despite the Ann Selzer poll that was released back in November. Now, when Chuck Grassley did this town hall, he kind of got ass blasted by his constituents for not doing anything and allowing President Trump to behave so unhinged. And this clip in particular is about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Just take a look at this visual real quick. This room is full of Johns, Jims, Beckys, Lindas. Like, these are not Maoist third worldists here. I do not think that these people have ever read the Communist Manifesto. My point being is that these are normal ass people. I say all the time that Republicans are freaks. Republicans are freaks. I mean the Republicans in Congress. Generally, that's who my rhetoric is aimed at. There is, of course, a non-zero percentage of Republican voters that are also freaks, but I do believe the majority of people, when faced with something that is immoral, will recognize the immorality of it. I am more willing to give the benefit of the doubt to a normal person than a fucking elite, a congressperson, whatever. My issue with a lot of these people is their inability to recognize the potential of these things happening before they happen. However, I am at least pleased that there seems to be a shift happening amongst regular people in this country on multiple fronts, whether it comes to Donald Trump's approval, whether it comes to millennials no longer leaning conservative, when it comes to people's disapproval of Israel. I am excited to see these things. These are the kinds of things that you have to look out for. These are the optimism pills that every so often you have to take. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to watch Chuck Grassley, the dinosaur that he is, get pressed by his constituents.
Security?
Yes. I'm believe very strongly in my Christian faith. I preach on Sundays, and I believe very strongly in we welcome the stranger. Because anyway, the least of these we do to Jesus. And that is what we've been taught, and that is what the gospel tells us. And I think turning away people who have come here for asylum is one of the most shameful things we are doing right now.
Yep. By the way, it is totally legal for people to come here and seek asylum on grounds of political instability or economic uncertainty in their home nation, which most oftentimes has been the doing of the United States directly or indirectly. These folks are going to focus in on Kilmar Abrego Garcia, of course, because he does not fit the archetype of the kind of person who the general public would be okay with unilaterally deporting. And we're seeing this with the Trump administration's newfound efforts of trying to smear him as an actual criminal. People are not buying that bullshit. Most regular ass people have no issues with immigrants. The majority of people who fucking live here have descended from immigrants. And they furthermore don't have a problem with those immigrants if they are law-abiding citizens, which again, 99.999% of immigrants are. Not even so much as a jaywalking ticket.
I just want to know, for you as a senator, as my elected senator, is there anything you can do so that we can follow international law better, or just the ideals of our country, to be a place of hope for others, where they can come when they are searching for a home because they have no place else to go.
Take down the Statue of Liberty.
Everything that we can do legally under our laws, we can. We welcome refugees. That's the legal status.
Senator Grassley, we're not right
Just a minute until it's quiet so I can hear you.
So, Senator Grassley, right now we're not. I mean, that right now we're not. These changes have been taking place, and that's what concerns me so much. It hurts.
1,200 people, 1,200 deportations per day is the ICE quota as it stands at the time of this recording. There is no fucking way that you are able to deport 1,200 criminals every day. The math is not mathing. Sorry, Chuck Grassley is a fucking coward. He's hiding behind Republican propaganda. There are things that Republicans in Congress can do to combat these efforts. They can speak out against Donald Trump. They could author legislation to combat Donald Trump, which, oh, weird, Chuck Grassley was one of the co-sponsors of a tariff bill that would have returned the authorization of tariffs back to Congress. Weird. Weird, huh? Look at this. Senator ChuckGrassley.gov. Grassley Cantwell introduced bill to restore Congress's constitutional role in trade. So you're going to fucking look all of these people in their face and tell them that there's nothing that you're not doing, that you're doing everything within your possibility? Are you fucking kidding me? It's so blatant, the bubble that a lot of these fucking ghouls live in, that they think all of their voters are just fucking stupid, that they think that these people are not able to smell the bullshit that is currently seeping out of Chuck Grassley's diaper. If they were serious about this, if they actually gave a fuck about the rule of law, there would have been 3 impeachment hearings on Donald Trump already. They would not all have voted to censure Al Green for speaking out against Trump's cut to Medicaid. These guys are fucking spineless cowards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with laws.
I would welcome refugees and I would welcome people that need asylum.
Are you gonna bring that guy back from El Salvador? Yeah. Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
The Supreme Court said to bring him back.
Judges are.
Yeah.
And the president is upholding the Constitution.
He's defined the
You're on the
Constitution.
Judiciary Committee.
Trump don't care.
That's not a power of Congress. And as that one gentleman pointed out, he ignored a court order. He ignored a 9-0 order from the Supreme Court, a unanimous court decision in 2025. All 9 of them said that the Trump administration must facilitate the return of Kilmar Brego Garcia. Congress may not be able to directly order his return, but why not impeach Donald Trump? Use your power. Use whatever fucking power you may have. There's 3 branches of government for a reason. Checks and balances exist for a reason. But the Republicans in Congress do not give a fuck about those institutions when those institutions, or when the people working within those institutions, are doing something that they agree with.
Pay a ticket for $1,200 and I just say no, does that stand up? Because he's got an order from the Supreme Court and he's just said no.
Yeah. He just said, screw it.
I'll be able to answer your question.
You ignored my letter.
Mine too.
You ignored my letter. That's fucked up. That's a really funny thing to say, but that is also fucked up. You ignored my letter.
For El Salvador is an independent country. The president
Speak up, please. We can't hear you.
The president of
Dude,
that country.
Lady, he's 90. The fact that he's even standing and talking right now is actually a miracle. I think that was a younger woman who said that. Like, I don't disagree, but this guy has literally, like, he was probably there when they invented chocolate chip cookies. Like, he was at the chocolate chip cookie reveal. The fact, like, he's doing more at 90 than Joe Biden was at 82, and Joe Biden was getting fucking drugs pumped into him like he was a goddamn racehorse.
Is not subject to our U.S. Supreme Court.
I'm pissed.
We're paying him to keep him down there. We don't have to pay him.
The next subject here.
Excuse me, Senator. Senator, excuse me, on that same subject.
Hey,
Excuse me, Senator Grassley, on that same subject. The Constitution, the framers of the Constitution, said that every person, not citizen, every person within the jurisdiction of the United States has due process. That is violated by the administration, and we would like to know what you, as the people, the Congress, who are supposed to rein in this dictator, what are you going to do about it? These people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a foreign country with no due process. Our government cannot do anything.
For all I know, this gentleman could be the only Bernie Sanders supporter in Iowa, or the only Bernie Sanders supporter in this room. But when it comes down to the humanity of individuals and how they are treated by the government, the overwhelming majority of people will listen to their heart and they will showcase their empathy. This one instance that we are talking about is that it's based in legality, yes, obviously, but the legal part of it is not so huge. I mean, the due process part of it is. So I'll give it 50%. But the other part of it is this was a guy. This was a guy, a normal guy, much like everybody else that's sitting in this room. The only two differences is that he's about 50 years younger than the median person here, and that he wasn't born here. Neither of which are entirely in his control. This was a man who had a family, who had a child, a father, a law-abiding citizen, who was deported to a slave labor camp for the crime of wearing a Chicago Bulls hat. This is a story that will radicalize people.
Why won't you do your job, Senator?
yeah. It's fine.
Obeying the Supreme Court. Trump's not obeying the Supreme Court. He just ignores them.
Yeah, screw it.
He's doing whatever he wants. I'd be okay with that. He's rolling around allowing it to happen.
Let the Senator answer.
What is a constitutional crisis? What does that consist of? A constitutional crisis exists when you have a president who ignores the Supreme Court. You have a Congress who fails to rein in a third branch of our government.
That's right.
Who is now violating our Constitution. You took an oath I do solemnly swear or affirm. Do you remember that, sir? Yes, sir. That I
He
will.
probably doesn't because he's fucking 907 years old. Chuck Grassley hasn't said a word in like 3 minutes. My man froze in real time. And it's not because he doesn't know what to say. It's because he's 92 fucking years old and his brain is currently focused on standing as opposed to answering these people.
Support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Dude,
That I will-
town halls are the fucking best, bro. These are like these are the most engaged citizens. Like these people are better than me, I will say. Like I've never gone to a fucking town hall. Like this guy has the oath to the like he printed out the oath to the Constitution and is reading it in front of his senator. Like these people are awesome. These people are fucking sick. I love them. I love all of them. We would probably disagree on more stuff than not. But on this instance, we agree. And I love that they are not fucking around and that they are taking this shit very seriously. I'm glad that they are recognizing the severity of this situation, unlike some Democrats in the House of Representatives and also all of the Republicans in the House of Representatives and the Senate as well.
Will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of office of which I am about to enter, so help me God. Sir, will you act upon your oath?
Yeah, I thought that I was, when I answered, I'll wait till the clapping's done. I thought when I answered this guy's question, I was doing what the Constitution requires. I'm trying to recapture the constitutional authority of Article 1, Section 8, one of the 18 powers of Congress to regulate interstate and foreign commerce by introducing the bill, which is a bipartisan bill,
Yes.
to make some of the mistakes that Democratic Congresses made in 1963. That's
Congress as a whole.
That's what I'm doing.
Congress as a whole,
Yeah.
bipartisan, has the power to act, to bring.
I don't know.
Wait.
Like I'm trying to speak dementia here. I don't know what the fuck Chuck Grassley is talking about. My closest guess is that the legal argument that the Trump administration is presenting in this case is that the deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a foreign policy matter. And on foreign policy matters, the president has full executive power. That's what I think Chuck Grassley is referring to. Again, I don't speak. I was not born in the Cretaceous period like he was. I don't speak Elder that well. But this is not a foreign policy matter. This again was entirely done by the Trump administration, who blatantly ignored multiple court orders regarding this case. And even still, if it was foreign policy, guess what, pal? The president only has executive power when it comes as the commander-in-chief. But the president cannot go to war, or isn't supposed to be allowed to go to war, which that obviously doesn't fucking exist anymore, without an authorization from Congress. Why is this guy who's old enough to remember FDR pretending as if like Congress is not a very powerful branch of government? Congress is probably the most powerful branch of government, with their ability to author legislation, to impeach the president, to have multiple votes on legislation to pass it anyway, to override presidential vetoes. Like what the fuck are you talking about? You're just lying to your constituents.
Until they be quiet.
Congress as a whole, bipartisan, has the power to act to bring the executive branch to heel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
And they're not doing it.
introducing a bill, yes, that's one thing. But as a whole, the power of Congress to bring that executive branch to heel when they are behaving the way we're seeing, that power exists within you and your other members of Congress? Do you speak to your other persons in the House of Representatives of your party? Do you communicate with them often? Do you discuss any of this with them?
No.
Do you hold any concern that Congress will be the next branch that Trump comes for because he is coming for the judicial?
The only tool that you know the Constitution gives Congress to do in regard to disciplining the executive branch is impeachment.
And you missed that opportunity in his first administration.
Oh my
You
God,
had two
bro.
opportunities for that. That was probably one of the only reasons we're having this situation now.
Bro, that was a fucking self alley-oop off the backboard. This motherfucker went John Morant, threw the ball around Draymond Green, and then fucking laid it up on the other side of the basket. How did Chuck Grassley? That's elder abuse. That's elder abuse. You just logic bombed a fucking 92-year-old. You got him in a mental pretzel. He walked straight into that trap like he was a fucking soldier in Vietnam falling into the leaf pit. Oh my God. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, what he's done with the stock market is done an impeachable offense.
He ignores the next election.
The House initiates impeachment.
Yeah. Would you remember what I started with? I said that the way I conducted the meeting in Hampton, I was chastised before because I didn't allow anything other than people to complain about Trump. So I'm going to go through this list and then we'll go back.
What a fucking loser. Chuck Grassley is a fucking clown. Straight up. I'm not even going to give him props for having a town hall. Because, again, this is like the bare minimum. This is the bare minimum. Although, if this was a Marjorie Taylor Greene town hall, she probably would have had that guy waterboarded.